I just said to you before we started with this segment, I cannot believe it's been 50 years, 50th anniversary that we're observing the
50th anniversary of the Vietnam War.
And I have had so many members of my family who served in the Vietnam War, who were over in Vietnam. And this, I mean, one of the things that this film highlights, and that you have said and others have said before, is this is sort of, I mean, it's like, it's the forgotten war. You don't hear as much about this as you do other places where we have had military engagements. Sure,
and the generation of children of those who served in Vietnam, they're here, and their children are here.
Right.
Faith of Our Fathers is this anomaly right now because it was just an original screenplay that Kevin and Bobby Downs got a hold of, and Kevin Downs is one of the actors in the film along with Dave White.
We've spoken with him before, and I can imagine that that was really fun to work with him.
Oh, yeah, well, we had done another movie 10 years ago, and now Kevin has been very fortunate. He starred in Courageous, which was a big hit. Dave White in God's Not Dead, which is another big hit. So this is the next big release for Pure Flix, and it's unique because it was a movie that had this heart about these two soldiers served in Vietnam. They're the dad characters, and the movie flashes back and forth between now and then.
Their sons and then their fathers.
Yeah, and based on the letters that these dads wrote to their sons, which is Dave and Kevin, these two get together and go on this cross-country journey to learn about who their dads were and read their names on the Vietnam War Memorial, the wall that has the 58,000 names of everybody that lost their lives in the Vietnam conflict. And since we've been getting into the process of distributing the movie and the release date, we've now had cities calling us to say, hey, heard about the movie, we love it. We'd like to also now do a premiere where we can invite veterans in our local city and use it as an opportunity to honor them.
Right.
So it's really just been amazing what's been happening.
When I was watching the trailer, and I still look forward to seeing this film, the one phrase that kept popping into my head was that there are no atheists in foxholes.
Right.
That over, because I've seen the trailer I don't know how many times now, and I'm so excited to see this film, but because one of the characters, one of the dads, he was led to Christ by his fellow soldier while they were there. Tell me about this.
Well, again, that's...
Without giving away the whole movie, because we want people to go see it.
Right. Well, I play kind of the commanding officer of the two dads in the Vietnam flashbacks, and it's really kind of funny because I'm a pretty out there born-again Christian, and here I had to go play this like sergeant. I have this one line in the movie. Now you wouldn't be preparing my men for death now, would you, soldier? I got to play this real tough guy, anti-Christianity guy. But my character has a very interesting, comes full circle kind of thing. You'll see the movie, you'll see what happens. And yeah, so the gospel is clearly presented in the film. That's the biggest issue. The opportunity to honor the veterans comes through in the movie. That's another equally as important opportunity. But as you said, the one dad who relies very strongly on his Christian faith uses that as an opportunity to help and love and support this other character in the film, who's the dad of the other younger person in the film.
And I saw Uncle Si in there.
And Uncle Si Robertson from Duck Dynasty.
How was he like to work with?
I've been with him all morning. And he's wild.
He's fun. He's so fun.
A super strong man of faith, and he's a Vietnam veteran.
Right.
Which is awesome because he got to speak to this morning in a bunch of different interviews. He said, hey, I was there, I came home, I dealt with all of the kind of blemish that's on you know, the history of the Vietnam War. He said, I was there and I did that. He said, this is an opportunity through this film, Faith of Our Fathers, now we can say to those men, they did an event here in Dallas last night that 100 veterans walked the red carpet being cheered by people.
And they never got that in the 60s.
And one of them came up to Kevin Downs afterwards and said, you know, this is unbelievable. He goes, he said, I've never had an experience like this my whole life where somebody said, thank you for your service.